Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Birushana. We're on Benkei's path, and we just finished playing with some children. Looks like we stayed out all day and it's sunset now. And we're bidding them goodbye. Let's see how the aftermath goes. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. After saying goodbye to the children, Benkei and I walked back to the estate.
The sun is all but set. I'm sure Shungen is waiting for us with bated breath.
Yeah, you're right. I completely lost track of time. I've never played around with kids like that before. It was so much fun. Aw, never?
Yes, it was a truly wonderful way to spend the day. It was wonderful to see my lord laughing with the little kids like that.
Aw. Really? Benkei smiled happily at me, and I started to feel embarrassed as I thought back on before. But I had fun too. I can't even remember the last time somebody gave me a piggyback ride. Okay, so she did get to play some at least. As a kid, it was seeming like she didn't have a childhood. They've been grooming her to be Genji's Avenger since birth. Seeing the world like that, from up high, everything just seems clearer. I didn't know it could feel so warm, so invigorating. Being held and supported in someone's arms like that, well, you weren't really in his arms, you were on his shoulders. To leave yourself completely to another, to put your weight entirely on them, to trust in them completely, well, he's a sturdy one, a good one to do so. I've never known someone who could make me feel that way before. Just like those kids, I never had a father either. So as I was being carried on your shoulders, I wondered, maybe this is what it feels like to have a father. Oh, your father zoned him instead of friend zoning him?
My lord?
Benkei stared at me with wide eyes, and I cut myself off. What am I saying? I'm way too old to be saying things like that. It's nothing. Just forget what I just said. Besides, I'm sure Benkei wouldn't want a big kid like me anyway. Well, not a kid, but maybe in other capacities. Why am I so flustered? Benkei smiled cheerfully, not seeming to care about my flushed and embarrassed face. I wonder if he caught that even. Did it hurt his feelings?
It is a great honor that my lord enjoys my piggyback rides. Seeing you laugh and smile like that, it brings me great joy as well.
Okay, sounds like he took no offense.
I can carry you like that again whenever you want.
Benkei, I'm not a kid. I don't need a daily piggyback ride. But still, that is kind of sweet in a Benkei sort of way. Big and strong. Benkei is always by my side. Let's see. I wish I had a heart as big as yours. But you probably do. I wish I had a heart as big as yours.
Well, my lord, it's only logical. I have a larger body, you see, and
I was thinking in literal terms like that too for a minute. I was like, that wouldn't be a good thing, and a large heart is actually a medical issue. No, Benkei, I mean, I wish I could be as kind and considerate to others as you are. Aren't you? Anyway, thank you so much for today. If you don't mind, I'd like to do this again sometime. Of course you would love to.
yes, of course. Anytime, just say the word. You can travel everywhere on my shoulders if you wish.
Benkei, my trusted steed. Well, I don't think that'll be necessary, but thank you, Benkei. His words were blunt, but full of kindness. Hearing them warmed my heart. He really is a kind-hearted man. I could see why those kids were so taken with him. Children can see through the facades others put on. Those children must have been able to sense Benkei's warm personality. Speaking of which, Benkei, you seem quite good with kids. Do you have a lot of experience with them?
Yes, there were many children in Hiezan, and I was always their playmate.
I didn't know that. So he's been around kids his whole life.
I like children to begin with. Their laughter is so contagious, so innocent, and full of life.
I mean, he is a big kid himself. Big kid, big puppy dog.
When I see them running around with such joy and energy, I can't help but feel empowered too.
Yes, I think I know what you mean.
But
Huh? Why so sad all of a sudden? Benkei's face clouded over.
the capital of Kyoto was so desolate. The children there had no life in them, no joy, no laughter.
Oh, I gotta do something about that.
It seemed as though there was no future for them, no hope for a better tomorrow.
That's right. It's the tyranny of the Heike. They have no regard for the lives of those they rule. They've ruined Kyoto. That's why I was so surprised when I arrived here. Not only was it beautiful, but the people were also full of life.
Indeed, there are seeds of sorrow in this land. Some, like the children from before, have lost loved ones to the Amishi. But in the eyes of those children, there was hope. Hope that will allow them to overcome such sorrow and live on. I'm sure that's because of the good people who rule this land.
Hmm. Benkei stopped and looked up at the dying sky.
Kids can't choose the world they're born into. The children of Hiraizumi and in Kyoto, their lives are all equally precious. They should all be able to grow up happy and healthy, regardless of where they come from. That's what I believe. And yet, because of the Heike, how many children in Kyoto are suffering? Why do the Heike wield so much authority? Why do they refuse to see the suffering of the people they lead?
I think they see it, they just don't care.
I don't understand it, and I cannot forgive it.
Benkei. Benkei's eyes swirled with pain and resentment as he spoke. I never knew he was so angry with the Heike. You didn't? I mean, the first thing you heard of him was that he would attack Heike at night and steal their swords. I would have assumed he was angry with them. So Benkei wants me to rise and fight against the Heike? Yet another one who's on that side of the seesaw. Whenever I told the others I came from the Genji clan, they always saw me as a tool to defeat the Heike. I've always been bound and entangled by the selfish expectations of others. Even Lord Kakunichi, who raised me, and Kichiji, who brought me to Hiraizumi, must also feel the same, at least in part. I have no intention of doubting their sincerity, yet why else would they do so much for me? So, is Benkei just like them? I wonder. He said why he chose me as his lord before. At first, he was attracted to my strength, but then he saw the true me and wanted to support me. There was no lie in those words, but still, if he harbors so much anger toward the Heike, surely he expects me, as a Genji, to help overthrow them. Benkei, you want me to do that? To take up the name of Genji and overthrow the Heike?
No, sir, that's not true.
Benkei looked straight at me. His voice was calm and clear. Ah, sorry I used a more scattered voice for him.
Indeed, when I first learned that you were the heir of the Minamoto clan, I wanted to serve you. But now that I've been touched by your kindness, it is not your name that drives me to serve you, but your heart. And now that I'm your vassal, no matter how you choose to live your life, I will follow you.
Benkei's eyes were fixed on me. Nearly consumed by their deep auburn color, I finally spoke. Any way I choose?
Yes,
So if I choose to become a masked bandit that robbed people on the roads, you'd come with me and do that? So if I decided to spend the rest of my life here in Hiraizumi without accomplishing anything, that's okay with you?
yes,
Aw. Even if I never take the Genji name? If I never become anything? If I spend the rest of my life running from the Heike?
yes,
Are you just patronizing me? Is that all you can say? Yes? You're really willing to go along with any decision I make?
yes.
To both questions, I guess.
There was no lie or expectation in the words I spoke to you in Kyoto. My life is yours. Whichever road you travel, I will follow. Live your life as you see fit, Lord Chano. No matter what path you take, no matter what road you choose, I will be there to accompany you.
Benkei. Until now, I have always lived with someone else's expectations. Be a man, Birushana of Kurama, be the heir of Genji. I've never really considered what I really am or what I really want. That takes a back seat to what everybody else expects. I felt a warmth rush over me and found myself fighting tears. I didn't know what to say to Benkei, who kept his gaze on me. Will you accept any kind of me? The mixture of confusion, happiness, and embarrassment that overcame me made my heart beat faster. Geez, Benkei, you're too kind to me, you know that? In the end, all that I could muster were these words of false courage. You keep talking like that and you're going to make me go soft. The least you could do is tell the Lord to, I don't know, buck up or something like that.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. It's just my nature. Besides, I think you're hard enough on yourself for the both of us.
That's true. I suppose you might be right about that. She's always beating herself up inside. To hide my embarrassment, I muttered quietly and sped up my steps. Benkei followed a little behind, looking at me with joyous, kind eyes. I was glad that the setting sun was lighting the way. The pink fading light of dusk hid my blushing cheeks. Thanks, Benkei. I heard him reply in a calm, quiet voice.
No, thank you.
Aw, it's a nice little relationship we got going here. Until the imperial court acted again in defiance of Kiyomori by stripping the Heike of their lands in Echizen province. It was clear that this public humiliation was organized as a show of strength by Emperor Go Shirokawa. Naturally, when Kiyomori received the news, he was furious.
That bastard! I don't care if he's the emperor. I won't let him get away with this. The end in Echizen is ours. It was given to us to leave to our descendants. And now the imperial court is taking it away from us? Just who does His Highness think put him on that throne, Has he forgotten all I did for him? During the Hogan Rebellion, just who was it that drove back Suto Kujoku's forces, It was the Heike! Every time there's trouble in Kyoto, who does the imperial court beg to pick up the pieces? The Heike!
Yes, indeed. Kiyomori's out-of-control rage was so frightening not even his own servants would approach him. The only one who could bear to listen was Tokuko, who gently nodded her head as Kiyomori continued to spit with fury. It's too much, even for an emperor, to continue taking advantage of father's grand achievements.
That's right, Tokuko. You understand, don't you?
All those horrible men that plotted to overthrow us at Shishigatani, they were all close with His Highness, were they not? There's no way he didn't know about the plot. This can only mean that he, too, wishes ill on the Heike. Or worse, perhaps Emperor Go Shirakawa orchestrated the whole thing himself.
Yes, I too considered that possibility. But even if that were the case, there's nothing I could do about it.
Indeed, the Emperor is the Emperor after all. But perhaps it's finally time for His Highness to retire from the world of politics. If only there was a way to force him to retire. What do you think, Father?
A way to force him?
Kiyomori pondered Tokuko's words with great enthusiasm. Though they once had been close, Kiyomori now viewed Emperor Go Shirakawa as nothing but an obstacle in his way, in which case perhaps the time had finally come for Tokuko's child to ascend to the throne. The boy had just turned 3, and Kiyomori had long hoped this boy would be crowned emperor. Can't wait a couple years, huh?
Yes, Tokuko, perhaps you're right.
Although one of them would definitely want to be regent. Kiyomori's eyes bulged as the gears in his mind began to plot and scheme. Kiyomori, his anger now cooled, failed to notice the wicked smile that crept up on Tokuko's porcelain face. So this plan doesn't necessarily mean good things for her father. Even if it meant pitting her father against her father-in-law. And behind her smiling porcelain mask lay something truly twisted and dark. Oh, I knew from that very first evil laugh she was bad news. Confirmed. A few months later, I continued to study at the temple with Benkei and Shungen, train with the Sato brothers, and discuss religion with Hidehira, getting a well-rounded education here. Surrounded by the beauty of nature, time flowed slower here than in the capital. This environment let me clearly see myself, where I was going, and where I wanted to go. Also, by observing the lives of the people of Hiraizumi, my perspective about life and how to live expanded too. And yet, in spite of that, or perhaps because of it, I knew I needed to decide my path. But what path was the right one for me? The answer to that question was still unknown. Then, one day, Lord Hidehira summoned me with news that Kichiji had returned to Hiraizumi after a long business trip.
After leaving us to Hiraizumi, Kichiji immediately loaded up on gold and headed back to Kyoto.
Even though he's used to traveling, it's mind-boggling how many times he's gone back and forth from here to Kyoto. I'm sure Kichiji has learned a lot about the state of things in his travels. Ah, time for news of the world. If Lord Hidehira thought it was worth summoning me here, I can only imagine it was something to do with the Heikei. Indeed.
Anyway, let's first talk with Kichiji and make sure everything's alright.
Right. With a feeling of apprehension and anxiety, we came to Lord Hidehira's estate. Yeah, definitely not good news. Lord Hidehira, please excuse our intrusion.
Oh, Lord Shano, you're here.
Kichiji, who was standing by Lord Hidehira's side, looked at us and smiled. Lord Shano, it's been a long time. It's good to see you back in Hiraizumi, Kichiji. Is everything all right? Yes, I'm fine. I'm glad to see you're the same as ever. On second thought, though, perhaps same as ever isn't quite right. You seem much more vibrant than when I last saw you. Well, things have been going well around here. Oh, it's all thanks to Hiraizumi. This is truly a wonderful place. I find myself learning so much every day. But it's not just me. Both Benkei and Shungen have grown a lot since we came here, too. Now that you mention it, I can sense a new drive, a fearlessness in the two of you that wasn't there before.
Of course, I'm working hard every day to be more useful to my lord.
Me too. I'm just doing what I can to improve myself right now.
They're all working hard and growing every day.
Your words are too kind, my lord. Lord Hidehira and the people of Hiraizumi have been so good to us. For a while, we chatted idly about our recent comings and goings, until Lord Hidehira abruptly changed the conversation. Now to see what we've really been brought here for.
Lord Shano, I have called you here today because there's something you must know.
Huh? The air was instantly tense. Benkei, Shungen, and I were taken aback. Instantly, I knew that my earlier prediction had been correct. What happened in Kyoto? Don't want to say it, huh? That bad? Please allow me to tell you. Kichichi's expression tightened, changing completely from his jovial, normal self. Slowly, he opened his mouth to speak. At this moment, there is a great commotion in the capital of Kyoto. Something of great significance has happened there. What he told us was far more shocking than anything we could have expected. It seemed that Kiyomori Taira raised an army in Kyoto and ousted 40 of Emperor Go-Shirakawa's closest allies from the government. He then chased these men out of Kyoto and banished them to distant lands. On top of that, Kiyomori has placed Emperor Go-Shirakawa under house arrest and plans to install his own grandson as emperor. Can't let that happen. Just who do the Heikei think they are?
Does their arrogance know no bounds?
No, it doesn't. They think they deserve to be on top.
This incident has also disturbed the long-standing government in the capital. It's a political change that's far too aggressive.
Lord Hidehira muttered, with a stern expression and looked at me.
Actually, Lord Shano, I've been made aware of this previously, but I didn't want to tell you.
What?
You've been dedicated to finding your own way here. I did not want to cause you any unnecessary worry or pressure.
Lord Hidehira, I had no idea he cared for me that much.
However, I feel that I can no longer keep it hidden from you. According to Kichiji, this incident has caused a lot of unrest in Kyoto. Yes, there are many nobles and temples that are increasingly opposed to Kiyomori and the Heikei's rule. And they need a leader to rally behind, huh? No matter how much Kiyomori's power is feared, an act this outrageous will not be overlooked. There may be some major developments in Kyoto in the near future. Then, with a melancholy look in his eyes, he glanced at me. I immediately understood what those eyes were trying to say. He's concerned. Now that the momentum is overthrown, the Heikei has grown so strong, I may be swept up by events. The world is starting to move, but what am I supposed to do? At any rate, we'll continue to monitor the situation in the capital. Eventually, the storm there may become large enough to shake the entire country. Lord Hidehira's words fell heavy in the large hall. The sound of distant thunder being carried from the direction of the capital caused everyone to feel uneasy. That's not the only thing making us feel uneasy. Benkei and Shingen both wore stiff expressions as we walked back and forth from Hidehira's mansion. The tyranny of the Heikei, the winds of political change, the world has begun to move, and we're all filled with anxiety. Why don't the two of you head back first? I need some time to think. Huh? That doesn't sound like you. Are you sure you want to be alone? This is embarrassing, but I'm a little upset by what I just heard. I need some time to get my head straight. I don't think that's embarrassing at all. Perhaps some time alone is a good idea. Yes, thinking is best done alone. Just come home before it gets too late. You don't want to catch a cold. Oh, Benkei will not be as easy to shake. Right, thanks. Shungen's known me long enough to know when to let me be, and I was grateful for his understanding. Wait, please allow me to go with you. Benkei? It's not safe for you to be alone on the road at night, my lord. Please, I promise not to disturb you. I knew it. That's a fair point. Honestly, it would be reassuring for me if you took Benkei with you, just in case. I don't have him stay like 10 paces behind. Well, I don't want you two to worry, so in that case, Benkei, would you mind joining me? Yes, my lord. I'll be waiting for you two at the estate. You both take care. By the time we reached the grasslands north of Hiraizumi, the area was completely enveloped by the night sky. Sugunobu and Tadanobu said this is an excellent hunting ground. It's huge. The view must be amazing during the day. It's not so bad at night either. Look, Benkei, the stars are absolutely beautiful. It's just a field. What's so fascinating about a field? That's right. Still, no matter how many stars there are, it's still quite dark. Don't go too far, my lord. I know. Come on, let's go for a little run around here. That's not thinking, now you're just playing. What happened to thinking? What? Sir, please wait. Give me a piggyback ride, right now. What am I doing? My lord, it's not safe for you to ride your horse like that at night. Don't worry, it's fine. The moon and the stars will give the horses plenty of light. Ah, doesn't this feel great? The night breeze is so nice. I feel like I could run anywhere like this. Oh, I really do love going outside at night, though. The night sky, it kind of feels like a dome in a way, and so I feel like enclosed and like enveloped, and kind of cuddled or something. No, but... Here, this way. You think you can catch me, Benkei? What's gotten into me? Benkei's like, what? Please, wait. Here.
acting just like those kids from earlier. That was great. I never knew a nighttime horseback ride could be so refreshing.
Uh, I'm glad to.
How did I tire him out and those kids didn't? Oh, geez, Benkei, are you all right? I'm sorry. I guess I just got a little carried away.
Oh no. It's just. I'm just so relieved you finally got off your horse.
Oh no, he was on foot. I was making him chase me on foot while I was on a horse. Oh, that's awful. You're a worrier, aren't you? With a small smile, I lay down on the grass. Benkei, still panting, sat by my side, confused and silent. I turned and smiled at him earnestly. You know, despite your appearance, you really are a serious fellow, Benkei. Maybe I'm too harsh on you sometimes.
Not at all, my lord. I'm just glad that you're feeling better.
I see. The air grew quiet as I looked up toward the night sky above. The countless stars scattered above were glimmering coldly, as if to ask what I planned to do next. I took a deep breath and let the cool night air flow into my chest, lifting the hesitation that enveloped me for so long. There's no running anymore. I guess I'll finally have to make up my mind.
My lord.
That's what I thought when I heard what Kichiji had to say. The world is on the move. I can't remain silent here any longer. I never wanted to be the child of Genji, you know. I'd be happy just being the child of a normal family with a normal life. I just want to live quietly as me. At least, that's what I used to think when I was in Kyoto. No, to be honest, I still feel that way, but now I know. That's not going to happen. The truth is, perhaps, I've always known that. What I needed to do was learn to accept my destiny and gain the courage to face it. Not to be carried away by fate, but to accept it, seize it even. I didn't know how to do that before, but the more time I spend here in Hiraizumi, the more I think I'm beginning to understand. Living here was comfortable, surrounded by kind people and a bountiful environment. It was truly a peaceful time for me. And that's why I was able to reevaluate where I was. And I was able to think about what I, as a person, wanted to accomplish, what I was supposed to accomplish. For the first time, the answer to the question I had been pondering for so long seemed within reach, but I still couldn't make up my mind. I felt Benkei's eyes on me from the side, but I kept looking up at the sky, concentrating on my words. I am a Genji. That fact will never change, no matter how much I want it to. If I take the name of Genji and rise against the Heike, many people across the nation will join me. But do you remember those kids we met the other day?
Of course I remember. The young children who lost their father in the war with the Yabishi.
Yes, if war breaks out, we'll end up with more children like that. After all, I too lost my father in the Heiji Rebellion. I too never knew my father's face or his warmth. I knew only sadness. If I go to war against the Heike, I'll put more innocent children through the same misery. And yet, I still don't know if it's really right for me to join this war, for me to take up the Genji name. Besides, I'm scared. I don't know what will happen because of the choices I make. What if, because I choose this path, many people suffer or are killed? That's what I'm really afraid of. It was the first time I had revealed my true feelings to someone else. I had been frightened for a very long time, ever since I realized that just by existing, I would always be a source of conflict. And all that time, I'd been hiding this cowardly heart from the world. And now I had revealed that cowardice to Benkei. I wonder if Benkei is disillusioned seeing me like this. Fearful of what expression I might find there, I looked over to him. Benkei was just quietly staring at me, a gentle light in his calm eyes. Pretty pathetic lord you picked to serve, huh, Benkei?
Not at all.
But I continue to be afraid. I continue to be indecisive.
That's only because you have a kind heart, my lord. It is precisely because you are kind that you are lost and troubled. What's wrong with thinking about the fate of others?
Oh, did I gain some kindness finally? Let's take a look. No, it still shows no kindness. You told me I was kind, but I'm not. I still only got a, smidge bit of strength. But Benkei's line is up to the E at least. I don't think we're gonna make it. Benkei.
I followed you this far because of your kind heart, not in spite of it. My only hope is that you choose the path that allows you to take care of what you hold most dear.
You really feel that way?
Of course. The fate you bear is heavy and harsh, and unfortunately, it is not a fate that I can bear for you. But I can be there to always support you, to always help you however I can.
Oh.
Now that you're ready to make up your mind, I'll take care of all the worries and fears that have prevented you from doing so.
How can you do that? You can't get in my mind. Benkei faced me directly and smiled. I couldn't take my eyes off him.
To lose would be tragic, but there is enough strength in this world to stand up against such a tragedy too.
That's...
Those young children from before are indeed carrying the grief of losing their father, but remembering their faces. They were smiling cheerfully and full of hope, weren't they?
They were smiling, weren't they? Despite everything that's happened to them, they could still smile. They still had hope.
People underestimate the strength of a child's heart, but when people lose hope, that's when they truly lose their smile. People like those in Kyoto.
It's true. Of all the children in Kyoto, I don't think I saw a single one of them smiling.
The smiles on those children's faces came from their heart. I think that's the best proof I can give. They're alive and well. They may not have lost their sadness, but they're not unhappy. In the future, if the children lose their smile because of your choices, then I'll make them smile.
Just go and put his fingers on the corners of their mouths and drag them up.
That's right. I'll do anything to make them happy, whether it's a piggyback ride or a game of tag. I'll hold their little hands. I'll talk to them and help them in any way I can, so you don't have to worry about them.
Oh, Benkei, you're just so cute. I couldn't help but cringe at Benkei's outrageous words. You can't do all that. Do you know how many children there are in this country? You're going to be the father of all of them?
A father to the children of Japan. That's quite a responsibility. But if that's what it takes.
Ah, but then they would all be neglected because you'd only be able to spend a few seconds with each one. I'm being serious, you know. Yet, I could tell in his face that he too was serious. As a result, I was both dismayed and disarmed. You're so absurd at times. You think of things that would never occur to me. It's the same as your sword hunting in Kyoto, trying to take all the swords from all the Heikei samurai.
Was that really so absurd?
Yeah. Yes, it was. You really are something, Benkei.
However, that is my true intention. I am prepared to do anything to lighten the burden on your heart. Don't worry, my lord. If the path you take is chosen for the sake of your people, I do not believe it will end their suffering.
Benkei asserted this with supreme confidence. Still, I had no idea where his confidence came from. How can you be so sure? How do you know I'm not going to go down the wrong path? Okay, and we'll stop there and continue the rest of this conversation in the next video, because I gots to go. So I hope to see you there or in some other videos. Like and subscribe if you wish. And it would be great if you could share this with any friends. Dirili signing off. Bye-bye, everybody.